guys, what's going on? The Legionnaire here, and I'm bringing you a new series about some of the most incredible but true military stories from around the world and from every era. So check back every week for a new and unique war story. I'll be playing different games in the background as well as showing you real pictures and scenes to bring depth to each story. Since today's story is about military aviation in World War II, I thought it would be appropriate to show you some Warthunder. Alright, let's get to it. This beautiful piece of art was completed by John Shaw and is called A Higher Calling. In this painting, we see a badly damaged B-17 named Ye Old Pub from the U.S. 8th Air Force. The crazy thing about this photo that no doubt many of you have already noticed is that it appears to be escorted by a German Luftwaffe Bf-109 G6 fighter. And here we have pictured Second Lieutenant Charlie Brown, then rookie pilot of the B-17 pictured in this story. And this is Franz Stigler, the pilot of the Bf-109 and Luftwaffe ace, credited with over 22 aerial victories at the time of this incident. So what events transpired for a Luftwaffe pilot to escort an American B-17 back towards its base in England? Well, it was December 1943. U.S. bombers were flying in broad daylight deep into the heart of Nazi Germany, striking aircraft facilities in the city of Bremen. The flak hands are filling the sky with their deadly dark clouds. Just as the 8th Air Force began its 10-minute long bombing run to target, the planes are flying straight and level. This is making them easy targets for German flak gunners. Shortly into the bomb run, Ye Old Pub was pelted by several flak bursts. Most of the B-17's crew was killed or incapacitated. The pilot, Charlie Brown, suffered a right shoulder injury. Despite all the damage to the plane and the crew, the B-17 was able to maintain flight, and incredibly, Charlie Brown was still determined to bring the wounded plane back to its base in England. However, due to the loss of the engine and compounding systems that suffered near catastrophic failure, the Ye Old Pub was forced to descend and lose airspeed. This resulted in the loss of cover from Allied fighter escorts and supporting fire from the other bombers in the squadron. Here's where Luftwaffe pilot Franz Stigler comes into the story. He was refueling at a nearby airfield when he spotted the wounded aircraft. He immediately took to the skies to follow his prey. When Franz reached the B-17, there was no return fire from the tail gunner, who was killed by flak, nor did any of the other defensive weapons attempt to engage Stigler as he pulled alongside the B-17. From his cockpit, Stigler recalled seeing the crew in their cockpit of the B-17, and in that moment, Stigler made his decision. Instead of firing at the near mortally wounded aircraft, Stigler attempted to mouth and gesture for the crew to land. However, Charlie could not understand what his counterpart was saying, or at least chose to ignore him, and chose to continue flying his limping aircraft back towards England. When Stigler realized the bomber crew wasn't going to comply, again, Stigler was faced with a choice. At that moment, Stigler recalled what his prior commanding officer, Gustav Riedel, told him when they were both fighting in North Africa. At one point, Riedel told Stigler, "If I ever see or hear of you shooting at a man in a parachute, I will shoot you myself." Later, when asked about this incident, Stigler stated that, to him, it was just like they were in a parachute. I saw them, and I couldn't shoot them down. So instead, Stigler flew in formation with the B-17 until it reached the English Channel. He did that purportedly so that German flak cannons could not shoot at the wounded bird without risk of hitting his aircraft. Incredibly, both Franz Stigler and Charlie Brown survived the war. More incredibly, they were reunited in 1990 and became lifelong friends. Each of them passed away in 2008. And this is an incredible but true war story, showing chivalry among enemies during World War II. And that's this week's episode, entitled The Stigler Incident. I appreciate you guys hanging around. Please give me a like. Please send me a comment. Let me know what I did right. Especially let me know what I did wrong. And if you really enjoyed it, check back next week and please subscribe. Legionnaire out.